When I first came to the US, I only had $1,000. Now I have around $100,000 in my saving account. In this video, I'll share my journey of how I saved this amount in just 2 years, including the mistakes I made, the tips and tricks, and the lessons learned. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Ali. I have a PhD in architectural engineering, and I have a passion for teaching about finance and productivity. Now back to the video. I grew up in a poor family in Iran, where money was important to us. As a kid, I always wanted to have a bicycle, but my family couldn't afford it. In Persian New Year, we typically get money as gifts, like Christmas here. I saved up over the years to buy my first bicycle, which taught me my first personal finance lesson, saving money. In college, I knew I wanted to come to the US, so I studied English hard and sacrificed social activities. During this time, I never asked my parents for money, even though they insisted. I didn't want to rely on others. Even for this YouTube channel, I never asked for subscribers, likes, or comments. I know that if I provide value, eventually people will subscribe to my channel and they will like my videos. In 2015, I came to the US with about $1,000. It took me 7 years to get my master's and my PhD. During those 7 years, I made some costly mistakes, but 3 were big. The first one was during the Bitcoin bubble in 2017. I got excited, thought that I would become a millionaire, and I started buying Bitcoin and other tokens based on a YouTuber's advice. And unfortunately, I did it using my credit card. Bitcoin's value went up so fast, and then it crashed. When I sold, I ended up losing money. The second was trading during COVID-19. I was bored in my apartment, started watching YouTube videos about the stock market, and then I started buying with all of my savings. I remember buying NIO based on a YouTuber's advice. The stock dropped, but he kept saying, just buy the dip, it's just an opportunity, just buy the dip. But it never recovered in time, and I sold at a loss. The third was buying trading courses. I wasted a lot of money. If someone on YouTube knows the secret to become a millionaire, why would they sell it? They're just making money off of you. From these 3 mistakes, I learned 2 key lessons. Number 1, I will never trade again. 97% of the traders lose money. 5 years after COVID, if someone asked me what to do with extra money, I would say buy a house. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor and you should not listen to me. But if you still want to invest in the stock market, consider an ETF like VOO. Do not trade, invest. VOO is an ETF from Vanguard that follows the S&P 500. When VOO is down, the whole US market is likely down. Unlike individual stocks like NIO, VOO is stable for the most part. It's a safer bet, but again, my advice is to buy a house first. Number 2, I never blindly follow YouTubers about trading again. Now let's talk about what helped me save money during my student years. There were 3 main things. Number 1, living with roommates saved me a lot on rent and helped me learn English and understand American culture better. Number 2, I didn't buy furniture because I knew that I would be moving a lot. Whenever I needed furniture, I bought used. Number 3, buying cheap meals from the university cafe for just about $6 per meal. It was way cheaper than cooking and it helped me to save a lot of time to study. I get frustrated when some YouTubers out there tell everyone that they should cook instead of buying food. Now let's go through the streams of income that I had as a student. Since I came to the US as an international student, I was on visa and I couldn't work outside of the university. My student scholarship waived most of my tuition and I was getting around $1,500 after tax, which was my main source of income. Besides that, I made some money from various small things. Number 1, credit card referrals. Whenever an international student came to the US, I became friends with them and send them my referral link from my credit card. Each time I got around $50 to $100. In the first year, I think I made around $1,000 just from referral bonuses. Number 2, credit card cashback. When I got my Discover credit card, there was a 5% cashback reward, and then at the end of the year, they doubled my cashback. I think I made around $500 from cashback. And because it was doubled at the end of the year, I ended up with around $1,000. Number 3, my first car. I bought my first car for $1,200 and sold it for $2,000 1 year later. It was a 2002 Toyota Corolla that I found on Craigslist. Anyway, after that, I got a used 2009 Corolla for $6,500 in late 2016. Number 4, giving rides. I gave rides to a couple of my friends for a small fee, which added up over time. Number 5, free furniture. When my roommates moved out and didn't want some of their furniture, I would take it and sell it on Facebook Marketplace. There were also times when my university had end of the year sales. I never bought anything from them, but you could make money buying from the university and selling it on Facebook Marketplace. Number 6, football tickets. One time I bought the whole season football tickets for the Penn State University for around $250. I started selling the tickets one by one, and just for the game between Penn State and Michigan, I sold the ticket for $200. Overall, I think I made around $500 from the package that I bought for just $250. So after 7 years, when I graduated in August 2022, I had around $5,000 in my bank account. This was mainly due to the mistakes I made and the money I paid to the lawyers for my green card. But I learned a lot from those mistakes. After graduation, as soon as I got my first job, I started writing down my goals. My first goal was to buy a house, so I realized that I needed to save money for the down payment, and I started paying more attention to the expense tracking tool that I had developed. Like they say, if you track it, you can improve it. After a couple of months, I knew how much I could save, and I started projecting how long it would take me to come up with a down payment for my house. During this time, I didn't make major mistakes because I learned from my previous past ones. But here are the things that helped me save big money. Number 1, I moved to a tax-free state. There are 7 states in the US where you don't need to pay state income tax. So I moved to Texas. Number 2, I avoided traveling as much as possible. Instead, I got a job that requires me to travel once a month. Number 3, my 2016 car was totaled last year, but instead of buying a new one, I found a good used car on Facebook Marketplace. Check out my video on buying the perfect used car if you're in the market to buy a used car. Number 4, I do meal prep on the weekends, and I also eat the same breakfast every day. Number 5, I live in a brand new 1-bedroom apartment for about $850 per month in Austin. I got a good deal because I moved in November when the demand is low. Now let's go through my streams of income. Number 1, main W-2 job. Every paycheck, I set aside some money in my high-yield saving account. Number 2, interest from my high-yield saving account. I use PNC Bank, which gives me around 4% interest annually. Number 3, 401k. I contribute because of my employer's match. It's just a free money that you should take advantage of. Number 5, credit card cashback. I travel a lot for work and I use my Wells Fargo credit card, which gives me 2% cashback on hotels, flights, meals, etc. And that's it for this video. There is no magic. It's all about expense tracking and having a discipline. If you're serious about money saving, I have recorded another video where I go over 25 practical money saving tips. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I was able to provide value, and I will see you in my next video.